This is Mac OS Ken.
Another take on Apple's anticipated headset, Murmurings of Macs at WWDC, and your My Photo stream is drying up. It is Monday, the 29th of May, 2023. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from Mac OS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by BetterHelp, online therapy. Visit betterhelp.com/macOSKen today to get 10% off your first month. This show is also supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/macOSKen. We got a new expectation for Apple's mixed reality headset sales. Just about everybody is expecting Apple to announce some sort of head-worn something next week, combining virtual reality and augmented reality. Thus, the talk of mixed reality, MR, or extended reality, XR, depending who you ask. If you ask me, it's mixed. If you ask Cowen and Company analyst Harsh Kumar, it's extended. Whatever. Apple 3.0 ran part of a note Kumar wrote. He's got this one thought that's kind of out there. He thinks this year's XR headset from Apple will be followed next year by a virtual reality headset. I mean, it's possible, but I don't remember Apple CEO Tim Cook ever talking about virtual reality. Augmented reality, meanwhile, he says one day we will wonder how we ever got along without it. It's a strange assertion for Mr. Kumar. Now on the hardware, Kumar thinks the bill of materials for the new mixed reality headset will come in around $1,800 for Apple, and yes, he's expecting it to cost consumers roughly $3,000. On the software side, he and his say between 60% and 70% of AR, VR, MR apps today are in the categories of entertainment, 3D design, and education. He thinks it will stay that way at first, with room for growth in health and fitness, as well as such lifestyle subcategories as kids and family, social networking, shopping, and more. Driving that will be the roughly 34 million iOS developers around the world. Kumar sees them as a competitive advantage for Apple in terms of XR platform content creation. While the anticipated high price for the anticipated device could keep early adoption down, it's apparently not as low in Kumar's mind as it is in the minds of others. I told you last week of an estimate from TrendForce that has Apple selling 100,000 of the headsets in 2023. That was followed a day later by an expectation of 200,000 from BofA analyst Wamsi Mohan. Cowen's Kumar may be going higher. According to the Apple 3.0 headline, Cowen expects Apple to sell 500,000 to 1 million XR devices in 2023. The annoying part, that is not in the note Kumar wrote. Not in the part Apple 3.0 posted, anyway. Anyway, Kumar maintains an outperform rating on Apple shares. He has set Cowen's price target on the shares at $195. While just about all of the WWDC attention so far has been focused on Apple's anticipated mixed reality announcements, there should be plenty of other newness to go round. Folks will be listening for changes coming in iOS, watchOS, tvOS, and of course, macOS. There's also been talk of new Mac hardware, talk which got louder over the weekend. In a Twitter post on Saturday, Bloomberg's Mark Gurman said, Apple will start accepting trade-ins of the Mac Studio, 13-inch M2 MacBook Air, and 13-inch M2 MacBook Pro on the 5th of June, the same day as WWDC. Read into that as you will. I'm expecting new Macs at WWDC. So, read into that as you will. Now let me tell you how to read into that. What makes the Twitter post more interesting or confounding, read into that as you will, is previous assertions from Mr. Gurman. The piece from Mac Rumors says while Gurman has said that 2 new Mac Studio models are in the works, he's also previously cast doubt on Mac Studio being updated at WWDC. Then again, he didn't say he's expecting an update for Mac Studio. He said he's expecting new Macs. Read into that as you will. Speaking of Macs, Apple's Butterfly keyboard settlement appears to finally be a done deal. Engadget says the U.S. federal court gave final approval to the $50 million class action settlement Apple came to last July, resolving claims the company knew about and concealed the unreliable nature of keyboards on MacBook, MacBook Air, and MacBook Pro computers released between 2015 and 2019. The deal calls for Apple to pay affected parties between $50 and $395, depending how affected they were. That's more than 86,000 MacBook owners who filed claims, according to the report. As part of the agreement, Apple does not have to admit to wrongdoing. So, resolve claims, erase claims. You say tomato. More news in a moment, but first a word from today's sponsor, BetterHelp. Online therapy. Are you ready to work on what's not working for you? It almost sounds like a trick question. Who isn't ready to fix what's not working? Well, I've been there. Gone through the motions of dealing with issues that I felt were wrong, but that I wasn't really ready to tackle. The best therapist in the world won't do you any good if you are not ready. If you are ready, there's BetterHelp. Therapy can be tough, but BetterHelp makes getting started easy. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire and get matched with a licensed therapist. And if they end up not being the best fit for you, you can switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. I have really appreciated the whole online thing. Not only because I wasn't limited to people I could get to, but because communication wasn't limited to specific sessions. If I had a thought or question, I could message my therapist in the BetterHelp app. Sort of made therapy an ongoing thing rather than just an hour of my week. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. Find more balance with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/macOSKen today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/macOSKen. BetterHelp.com/macOSKen. More with the executives coming and going for the Cupertino company. On the way out the door, a behind-the-scenes person in Apple Pay. Apple Insider cites scuttlebutt from Mark Gurman's Power On newsletter that says Eric Hoffman is leaving the company after an 8-year run. Most recently, Hoffman served as director for Apple Pay business development. Duties and accomplishments in his time included managing teams for payment partnerships, working with banks, merchants, and fintech firms, and handling business development for Tap to Pay. That's the feature that Apple says lets merchants accept Apple Pay and other contactless payments simply by using iPhone and a partner-enabled iOS app. In other words, no hardware besides an iPhone required. No word in the piece on why Hoffman has left. No word either on what he's off to next. As for the new hire, Apple TV Plus has added an unscripted shepherd in the UK. Another piece from Apple Insider says BBC alum Max Gogarty has joined the Cupertino streamer. According to the report, Gogarty is well known for spearheading a variety of different unscripted events, and he was previously an executive editor at BBC Three. During his stint at BBC, Gogarty led different documentaries like Roman Kemp, Our Silent Emergency, and Matt Willis, Fighting Addiction. It's unclear whether any specific projects are lined up for the new hire, though he'll apparently be sticking with Unscripted. Apple Insider says Gogarty will be answering directly to his former colleague at the BBC, Alison Kirkham. The piece goes on to explain that Kirkham is a creative executive for unscripted original series and films at Apple TV+. And finally today, a PSA for people using it. Mac Rumors says the Apple service My Photo Stream is set to be dammed or dried up by Wednesday, the 26th of July. According to the report, My Photo Stream is a free service that uploads the last 30 days of images, up to 1,000, to iCloud, making them accessible on the iPhone, iPad, iPod Touch, Mac, and PC. It predates iCloud Photos and has largely been replaced by the iCloud Photos service at this point. Mac Rumor says uploads to My Photo Stream will actually stop on the 26th of June. Photos uploaded to that date will stay in the stream for the usual 30 days, which is when the service shuts down. As far as steps that need to be taken, the piece says customers who are still using the feature will need to transition to using iCloud Photos before the end of July. Even if you don't, doesn't sound like your photos will go missing, but they won't be accessible in the cloud until you do. Quoting Mac Rumors again, because all of the images in My Photo Stream are stored on their original format on at least one Apple device, there isn't a danger of photos being lost as part of the shutdown process. Apple recommends that users who want to have their images on a particular device save them to the photo library on that device prior to the 26th of July. macOS Ken, brought to you by me and sponsored by BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/macOSKen today to get 10% off your first month. This show is also supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/macOSKen. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media, online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. info@macosken.com or call 716-780-4080. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Ciao.